Yeah, but that nice cabinet there, we've decided to keep it. It's got Mum and Dad took some pieces on it for the time being. Yeah, Bill reckons he's going to take the back off, right? And then he's going to use that nice bit of, what is it, laminate? Yeah, and do a floor in the bathroom. Because Bill's really clever at things like that. And I think that would look really lovely. And then if he takes the back off, all the light will come through. So the kitchen's still open plan. That's a really good idea. And he's going to fix all the lights to make it look pretty. And you see up top there, that's the black magic altar. Right, you can see it's all black, it's bound to be black at the moment. Maybe a good idea to shed some light on it. I've got a light up there, let's shed some light on it. I mean, you can use black magic in healthcare, right? And I have had, when I first met Bill, I had to do that. Quite honestly, I risked losing him. He really was that bad. Oh, I thought I had one fixed up at the top. Let's try and turn that around. Sort of disperse a bit of the darkness. Turn up. Oh.
What are you trying to do?
One of them is blown. Just switch a light on. Sorry, one of the bulbs is blown. I've got one light on. Yeah. I mean, I've taken down the white magic altar because that got infected. The white magic altar can only these days affect healthcare. It's the only place where white magic works is healthcare. Black magic can work in other areas, but if you were to skim a stone, right? Now with black magic, there must be pain somewhere as a result of it, right? But if you were to skim a stone on the surface of water, and you consider that the first one must hurt somewhere, be it you or someone else, alright? Then the other times it hits the water when you skim the stone, alright, are all the benefits. And those don't have to hurt anybody. Right? That's how black magic works. Although some people with very bad intentions will work it differently. But that's how you benefit. You reap the benefits from black magic. White magic, no, it doesn't work anymore. It got very badly damaged. White magic, and it only works in healthcare. But I had to take down the white magic altar because it got infected. And I had to work with the chaos altar on the other side. I mean, it's to do with the fact that, like, the room is like a computer. You know, and when I call my second book The Maze of Crystals, it's like you're surrounded by the crystallized chemical patterns. I mean, how the dowser works is, like, energy forces pass through. They move the dowser, it's got nothing to do with levitation. It's only the very small vibes given off by living life. The force field, you see, all different elements of the force field, are given off by life forms, what hippies call vibes, or that kind of thing. You give off, every living thing gives off these vibrations, right? And it's that the force comes from. And these vibrations pass through, like, the perfect pattern of the whole of the universe. This is amazing. And every scientist will tell you this, how amazing this is. The whole of the universe is such a perfect pattern, there's not one mistake. And how the universe is a massive place, not one mistake in the pattern of the universe. Not one mistake. It is that perfect pattern. And this surrounds you, all matter, like the walls, everything, right? And how dowser works is, this acts like a computer. And what moves the computer, what moves the dowser, it's the yes and no answer, is the actual vibrations. They do carry us. They can lift small weights. And somebody once told me, somebody knew quite a lot about this kind of thing without admitting to it. Somebody once told me it's got something to do with the poles. It's got something to do with the Earth's rotation on the poles. I'd like to look into that. And what effect that would, why that would make the dowser. Probably, I suppose, why the dowser moves in a circle. So it must also work in a similar way to a compass. So I'm sort of moving my thoughts down that direction, trying to understand why this person had suddenly suggested to me. Somebody knew a lot about this kind of thing, as I said, without admitting to it. But it did have something to do with the Earth's poles and rotation. So maybe the dowser works in a similar way to a compass. So obviously, because your brain, right, It's the most important aspect of controlling the actual vibrations you give off and controlling, like, the actual force field and all elements of the force. Your brain is the most important one for controlling that. The second most important thing is the objects within it. So what the altar has is, right, every time you associate meaning with your brain to an object and then place the object in a particular position, and then you start sort of intertwining all of this, right, that's an altar. And I'll show you the black magic one up here. Right. Let's see, now the left side, the most powerful element of black magic, right, is now I've got some light on it. And there's one there, yeah. So you, as I said, you place the objects, right, with intention of giving the objects meaning. And then the objects, you can read them back, right? And this kind of is intertwined with everything that's going on in your life, right? Things like homeopathy. I remember somebody explaining about homeopathy and how it's done. Well, I was using homeopathy with Kenny, with Passiflora. Now, it has to kind of work with the almost Steiner form of magic. Now, Steiner started a form of magic to do with things like moon cycles. It was a philosophy. I went to a Steiner school, philosophy. And with Steiner, what it really was he was the first to combine science with magic. But it was kind of like very tactile type science. You know, in things like the Steiner wine, you know, everyone said, how could you possibly be turning your wine with your hands with the moon cycles, in tune with the moon cycles to do with different ways of turning the wine, and why would that make the wine particularly good? And I understand of Steiner, only having glanced at his books, because these days I can't read very well, and having been to a Steiner school and had quite a lot to do with the Steiner ideas and philosophy, it's all about quality, real quality of life, you know? It's like getting the quality out of everything, you know? It's like, you know, getting that little last, getting every squeeze, every last drop of quality out of everything, you know? In terms of quality of life and quality in anything. It's a wonderful philosophy. They're absolutely fabulous schools. They're very expensive. I was lucky my parents were very wealthy at the time and paid for the fees, but fabulous schools, you know. Wonderful experience to go to a Steiner school. As I said, he was a philosopher, and he kind of put the magic in there, and then it's not an exact mixture of magic and science. It's almost got like a sort of a meaning of its own, you know. It stands apart almost from everything else, although it's got elements of stuff in it. As I said, you combine all these factors. The psychics, I mean, I went into the church hall the other day, and they had all the psychics there. And it was interesting to see, you know, there were quite a lot of pagans there as well. And it was called Open Spirit Session or something. And there